Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. It's Game 2, Summit 8, SA Qualifiers. Infamous taking on paiN Gaming. Infamous with a 1-0 lead. Looked very sharp and communicative amongst one another in their Game 1 victory. paiN didn't look, like they played poorly for the most part. There was one RP that got dark packed off from Tavo, and Tavo's, generally speaking, a standout. We all know what he did at Boston with SG Esports. Is that Boston or Kiev? Am I okay? Let's see. Kiev. Sorry. Apologies. It was Kiev. So anyways, Tavo, generally speaking, a standout player. It was really just one RP. Other than that, they looked pretty good for the most part. It felt like with the Night Stalker, however, Infamous just controlled the map better. The Night Stalker and the Shadow Blade on the Slark. A lot of follow-up. So really, just a very nicely assembled strategy, more than anything, from Infamous, and executed well on top of that. So that will reward them with a Game 1 victory. Ancient Apparition, in fact, going to be banned out by paiN here. Perhaps a little bit of PTSD from Game 1. And not only do they ban the AA, they ban the Wyvern too. So their AA ban, in a sense, forces them to ban the Wyvern, because without AA on the table, Wyvern becomes that much stronger. And so kind of two bans perhaps that they didn't want to have to ban against Infamous. They'll pick up the Night Stalker for themselves here. So kind of talked about controlling the map and how they won Game 1. It definitely feels like paiN in alignment with my thinking there. And they want to deny the Night Stalker away from Infamous's side. So we'll see if they shift gears and look for a different kind of strategy, or if they look to push head-on into this Night Stalker and take map control that way. They'll go for the Ogre, so he's a difficult support to kill off. Certainly more difficult than the Night Stalker's targets in Game 1 with the Wyvern. And the Sand King. Undying ban is an interesting one. It's been pretty popular in South America, specifically paiN. I like to pick it up as well. Taking a little bit of a thoughtful approach here is Infamous. And they'll actually pick up the Brew, which was banned in Game 1. So this is something that they do like to run for Stinger. Of course, Pepita could take it towards the mid lane pending the matchup, but more than likely it's an offlane hero. Makes life just living hell early on with the 70% mischance for 4 seconds with that Drunken Haze for any safe laner trying to last hit. Beastmaster pickup is another strong hero. These two heroes synergize very well as well. The Night Stalker and Beastmaster with the Hawk Vision and the extra vision from the Night Stalker. Or the denial of vision from the opponent should allow them to enter engagements on their terms. Interesting flag for paiN Gaming, isn't it? Look at this damn thing. What the hell? I guess this is supposed to be like a P and a G. So this is it here, the P. Cool. This one nicer, cleaner, in my humble opinion. But none of that really matters. All that matters is wins. Winner faces SG, or winner of SG versus Sacred. Perhaps I may have cast or cursed SG there, which happens today, by the way, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Queen of paiN Lone Druid bans coming up from paiN. Weaver ban once again from Infamous. So perhaps just denying that from HFN. They also take away the Death Prophet, one of the heroes that's very resilient to a Ogre Magi throwing Ignite and walking at her mid, because she can just siphon him. So understandable, the Death Prophet ban. There's also a lot of lockdown and vision in front of her with the Night Stalker and Beastmaster. So good front line for a Death Prophet game. Lion, excuse me, is going to be the pick to come out for Infamous. We all know how much better of a hero he is with the talent changes and the fact that Hex is no longer dispellable. But he's also rather easy to steal spells from, so Rubik fits very nicely here for paiN Gaming. Both teams with very scary openings as far as lockdown and teamfight ability. Hard to say who has the roaming advantage. It depends on the lane matchups, I would say. Both heroes both lineups kind of similar. You got the more stable kind of laning support in Lion, the roamer who's a little bit more clunky on Ogre, and then the stable laning support in Rubik, and a little cleaner as far as the roam goes for the Night Stalker. But both of these tandems or duos can get to work together depending how self-sufficient their safe laners are. Interesting draft from both sides so far, but nothing really revealed, as the two supports in the offlaner, by all rights, should be showing here for both squads. Slug. All right, they're going to go back to what worked in Game 1 for Kotaro Hayama, and that is going to be his Slark, which he played to great effect in Game 1 and made very few mistakes despite having a rather rough early game. He was able to, you know, siphon what he could out of those lanes and didn't end up that far behind out of the laning stage. He made the right movements, you know, hit the tower top lane when he couldn't join the fray bottom, and gained his farm back, and then they were able to constantly kill off HFN's anti-mage. So they'll go back with their Slark here. Again, it works nicely against the Primal Roar, the Telekinesis. There is a Crippling Fear, of course, and that's pretty much the only thing you have to be concerned about as Slark. So try not to play too close to the tree line, else the Night Stalker can fly in and make life a living hell. But again, there's a lot of counter initiation with the Lion and the Brewmaster for the Slark here too. So you don't quite have the Omni Knight, at least just yet, or Infamous's side, and they would feel like they're lacking damage if they picked an Omni Knight here. So I expect a mid laner to come out from them. But you do have some decent counter initiation. Okay, paiN. So both teams, I mentioned comfort picks as being a big theme across South America, perhaps even too prevalent. But both teams kind of going back with their bread and butter. Masha's Tinker going to be picked up again. Queen of paiN this time is banned. Expect probably the puck ban from paiN here. We'll see what Infamous is going to ban. They're looking at more than likely the safe laner for paiN's side. Juggernaut stands out to me as, you know, the kind of catch-all safe laner that can be rather mobile, farm pretty safely by himself. They're going to actually ban the Bloodseeker, so very much a run at you strat. Bloodright plus Primal Roar certainly work very well together. I figure they would ban the Jug just because they have a Lion and a Brewmaster. And, you know, Spin, very good versus both those heroes. But Bloodseeker direct Slark counter, of course. Having the Rupture, having the Thirst to keep vision on him when he's low. So kind of just covering their bases as far as the Slark goes, and certainly warranted, as Kotaro did perform very nicely for them last game. Just going to take a sip of my water here briefly. I'll be surprised if it's not the puck ban, but hey, I've been surprised before. Alright, we're back. It's a puck ban, boys. Scrubcaster knows one or two things about Dota. And we'll see what the safe lane pickup is for paiN Gaming. I'm going to go turn off my oven fan. BRB. Cooking up a little chili earlier, folks. Okay, Gyro. Here's a different hero. I don't know if it's one that I really think is that good, to be completely honest with you, but a lot of damage early on, that is for sure. It's despite having the inner beast, I'm worried for paiN's ability to push. At least they have kind of the demolish from the Earth Brew on Infamous's side, and they have this 5th pick as well. But Gyro is not, you know, that quintessential put him up on the high ground, throw a Lincoln's on a Solar Crest and any positive buffs on him and let him siege. He just doesn't do that, you know, excellently. But maybe if they get him a Satanic at some point, he can flak off of the tower as well and, you know, harass the enemy, keep them from blinking. It has a big range, so it's definitely not impossible, but there's no kind of ideal or typical sieging hero. So looking for the mid laner, Infamous, thinking about it. All right.
Storm Spirit.
We've all seen the memes. We know how good Kaya is. He's an excellent hero to have up against the Masha Tinker. Is rather elusive from the HFN Gyro as well. So really just needs a Lincoln's in this game, and it kind of feels like free reign. Primal Roar and Crippling Fear are the two worries for this Storm Spirit. Aside from that, not much to lock him down. So look for a Lincoln's, maybe even just a BKB, and don't get Primal Roared. You know, stay out of range against the Primal Roar. Even if they Primal Roar him with the BKB, it'd be close for them to be able to kill him with right clicks. I would say it wouldn't, but having Inner Beast perhaps puts you over the edge there and renders you able to kill Pepita. Infamous gonna go with a similar strat. They have a little bit more five-man team fight, I would say, with the Brewmaster, but Slark Storm Spirit, very similar to the Slark Queen of paiN or Slark Night Stalker that we saw. Look for, just in this game, the only difference is for them to bring the Lion along as opposed to bringing the Night Stalker or AA along from last game. So that could get a little more clunky as far as giving away information to your enemy. But certainly a lot, same potential for Snowball for Infamous's side here. We'll see how the lanes shake down. But certainly expect the Ogre mid lane to help Pepita out for the first bit. Like the drafts from both sides, guys. I don't think I've had a series yet in these South American qualifiers where I haven't favored a draft in both Game 1 and Game 2. Sacred versus paiN. paiN won 2 out of 3 drafts, I thought, pretty clearly. There was a couple series before that where, you know, me and Mike Loris were on the same page as far as favoring drafts, and in both these games, I really like what both teams have put together. I'm a bit iffy, as I mentioned earlier, on the Gyro pick, but we'll see how that pans out. All right, there's apparently a fishing hole here, according to Stinger. It is a 5v4 in the favor of paiN, excuse me. Let me just... don't want to miss this, guys. My phone is going off. Pepita, perfect position. I've got this one friend. He's really stupid. Nah, he's actually a smart guy and he's charming, but he sends like 1 word per text. So it'll be like 7 texts for a sentence. Uh-oh, Excel. Gonna get lifted up here. Void should be there as well. They've got the rocket barrage, and he kind of gets body blocked by his own teammate. He gets the fairy fire off though, and actually does end up surviving. Schofield, however, could be in trouble. Does have an impale. Will drop it. It actually gets them up in the air, and he walks under them. That was cool. Wild Axe is going to be thrown out, and still no kills. So they do, you know, unfortunately have to expend a salve. Schofield maybe his as well, but when all is said and done, Wild Axe is level 1, skilled up by the Beastmaster. I think that could even be a win for Infamous. It is going to be 3 bounty runes for paiN, though.
Where's my pension?
There you go. 3 bounty runes for the Dire, and Kotaro will pick one up.
I'll take
Very
that.
cool how, you know, heroes can just move around the map now early on, having that TP to fall back on. They're going to put Stinger bottom, 1v3, and kind of sacrifice him here early on. Tavo's going to have a rough time, though, top lane, considering he has Wild Axes level 1, and they're well aware of that. So they will pounce him up immediately and put some harass into him. Meanwhile, mid lane, TPing in is Excel. And as we expected, he'll throw out the Ignite onto Masha. Bottom lane, Stinger going to get rocket barraged up a bit, but he's got this awesome spell called Drunken Haze. 70% miss chance for 4.5 seconds. I think if it said 4 seconds in the draft screen, but that thing is good early and means that he won't more than likely be killed off. You know, he could be harassed a bit as the gyro makes his way up towards top lane. A little bit of musical lanes between these teams. We've seen it at a couple of different games now. Rocket Barrage actually popped by HFN and doesn't get too much work done with it. Now mid lane, King RD nearby to kind of shadow the movements of the Ogre. Makes his way up towards this top lane. Tavo is going to TP back down bottom. And King RD rotates up top. So kind of the standard lanes we expected all in all. Beastmaster in the off lane. Meanwhile, Excel top lane, getting a rocket barraged up. Drunken Haze is going to be there for the slow and the mischance, and that'll secure the retreat of the Ogre Magi. Schofield a little bit, or King RD, excuse me, a little bit deep on Schofield. Schofield was the Night Stalker from last game. But he's a very tanky hero early on in this game. He gets slowed up, though, and he's going to get impaled here. He could just drop. There is a Mango for a Thunderclap in a couple seconds. Oh, the telekinesis from the high ground, saving the life of King RD. He gets slowed up. Mango is there. Oh, the body blocks from Duster. Beautifully played by the Rubik. Effectively saving his Night Stalker twice in that engagement. Excel going to hang around. But Old Stinger did have the Mango to go for that clap had he gotten in range.
Have another. I insist.
They do get the range creep at least pulled. Nope, never mind. Duster doing a great job here. Oh, that's unsuccessful attempt by the Brewmaster. Meanwhile, let's check out the mid lane here. Masha 8-3 on the Tinker, 9-3 for the Pepita Storm Spirit. And, of course, with the presence of the Ogre, the Tinker a little bit ahead in the experience department. So not bad early on. As long as you don't get dumpstered in lane as a Storm Spirit, you can accelerate your farm with the Static Remnant farming stacks thereafter. So certainly... Okay, Pounce goes out, and Noobcaster takes the camera away. Hex is there. Impale as well. Tavo's going to drop First Blood. Oh, one more right click needed, and it's there with the Extendo from Kotaro on the melee range. And thankfully for me, he will validate my premature statement that Tavo was going to go down there, and takes him out with the long-winded right click. So a better start for Kotaro than in Game 1. And we saw, even with a rather poor start, how effective he was in that first game on the Slark. So rather concerning, could be, at least, for the paiN side. Rotation in from King RD. He's going to try and steal away this bounty rune. Excel securing the rune for his Storm Spirit top. And Tavo grabs a regen bottom. There's a haste bottom as well. Tavo does not see it. And a TP down from the Storm Spirit. Oh, he has to impale the boar here, else it'll probably kill off the haste rune. Yes, Hex there as well. Schofield MVP on the Lion is going to get Pepita the haste rune. Rotation in from King RD. It is nighttime. It is the first nighttime. Bloodlust going to be thrown out onto Pepita. And that'll be all she wrote for now. Back in towards the mid lane goes Excel. He's got absolutely nothing to his name as far as net worth. Old Stinger in trouble top lane. He's going to get voided up. Has a salve, but it'll be a little bit too late as he's dropped down to his death. Excel's going to be scouted here as well relatively soon by that dire ward on the cliff. So they will tie up the score. It does paiN Gaming 1-1 after the early death they conceded bottom lane. Tavo's level 4 at this point. The Brewmaster about the same, a half a level behind or so. Schofield going to look for the wrap here. Will find it. Pounces there as well. And he should have the Hex in just a moment. And there it is. A couple of more right clicks. Kotaro cancels the salve, and the Dark Pact finishes off the Beastmaster. Nicely played by that tandem. Something I alluded to in the draft, that, you know, Slark alone in lane is really not all that scary. With supports, he's a fantastic early game fighter. And paiN making his retreat down towards the stacks, but as the creep wave encroaches upon his tower, he'll at least soak that up. Oh, Masha could be in trouble here. Takes a right click. And paiN taking a lot of damage, in fact. Hex coming through. Fairy Fire is there. A couple more right clicks on the King RD. Homing Missile, not enough to kill off the Storm Spirit, who TPs back to base. And in fact, he's going to forget about it as he salves up. He'll be just fine to stay in this lane, and that is a big win. Nice TP in there from King RD. He's all over the map. Securing the Haste Rune for his Storm Spirit, getting the 2 kills on Tavo bottom, essentially. And now saving his Storm Spirit mid lane from that rotation with the Night Stalker, which is huge because it's the Night Stalker's first big move of night. And he doesn't accomplish anything, so. Bottom lane. Kotaro going to take out the boar. Pesky little boar. As the Lion finds some time in mid. With paiN farming some stacks. And the Lion could be in trouble here. Jump forward. King RD does not have a silence, though. Nicely played by Schofield. Going for the Tinker with the stun, as the Tinker's the one who's really going to be contributing the damage. Meanwhile, top lane, telekinesis onto Old Stinger. Excel's rotated through. Gets the Ignite off onto HFN. Bloodlust is there for some move speed as well, but does not have the Fire Blast to cancel the TP of that Duster Rubik, who will make it back to base. And so things will stagnate once again in this mid lane. Sorry guys, I had the hero levels up for quite a while there. This is where sometimes you need a co-caster to bump you into shape. Schofield continuing to be a nuisance mid lane. Finds a level 5 on the Lion. He is over leveled as all hell, and again contributes on a kill. Slark and Storm Spirit starting to dominate the net worth. Schofield is 0-0-3, involved in all 3 of his units' kills. And he is level 5, almost level 6 on the Lion. He's further up than his Brewmaster. He's been fantastic this game thus far. And I should have been watching him. I just said it. Schofield on the Night Stalker game 1. Game 2 on the Lion, just making things happen. Meanwhile, HFN split use top lane. He's going to be taken out. Cyclone's going to find the Rubik as well. Primal Split still has half a duration. They have a Boulder Toss in just a second. There's no mana for an Ignite, but they should be able to do some good damage here with the Windwalk and the right clicks from the Fire Panda. Old Stinger slows him down with the Drunken Brawler. Feeling okay to dive this tower, but Excel, he just doesn't have the mana to continue to press forward here with any sort of threat. So early game going very well here for paiN and the Infamous squad, particularly for Kotaro, who is highest level in the game by 2 levels here on the Slark. His KDA 2-0-1. His CS 64 to the 38 of the next nearest contender. And he's well aware that he has a lead right now and playing it safe. paiN is going to get scanned by the Radiant. Or by the Dire, excuse me. Radiant are looking for someone farming in the jungle and not going to find a Schofield. Doesn't have a ward on him, so they're going to look to wrap on Masha. They don't have a level in the pull just yet. Schofield rotating through, and he is not going to be there in time. Finger of Death, though, is all that's needed. They will find the return kill onto the Lion, but paiN should be able to zip to the low ground. He's actually just taunting. All right, this is South America, isn't it? Meanwhile, with Inner Beast, Tavo and HFN pushing bottom lane. Excel starting to push into top lane, but it will be a while before they get that down. And Tavo with his boar finds the last hit on the bottom tower. So they lose the Tinker, but overall, decent trade for paiN Gaming side. Big stack, though, top lane. Could be farmed up by Old Stinger if he gets some support inbound. Excel actually beat quite a bit into this tower here, top lane. 50% of that HP is going to be taken out. HFN a little bit far forward here, bottom lane. Has his Beastmaster nearby.
This ain't yours.
And Excel 113 build. Certainly not uncommon on the Ogre Magi. He'll bring the Slark to top lane and look to get some work done. He should, with his level 6, be able to get this D ward done for them as well. He just pinged it out, actually, that his passive was not activating, so you should notice here as well, and he pings it. Just great Slark player, Kataro, good recognition, and just the little things. So mid lane being aggressed on, Pepita nowhere to be found right now. He is top lane. And we'll TP in towards mid where the call down's being used. The primal split is there though. Boulder toss onto the gyrocopter. King RD rotating around, but Pepita with the burst damage is going to be able to blow up the gyrocopter. Up in the air is the Beastmaster. In the meantime, the Night Stalker being gone on. Can they get both these kills? Dark Pact is there with a couple more right clicks. They get the Night Stalker, and they cyclone up the Brewmaster in the meantime. He does get a stomp off onto Schofield, who actually has to, impale the creep. Now Tavo being slowed up. Drunken Haze is there. He'll be brought down. The Dire do get the tower in the mid lane, but it is a triple kill for a hero who you do not want to give a triple kill 11 minutes into the game. The Storm Spirit assuming second place on the net worth. And with the Slark, they know they're smoking under no vision. Excel mid lane gets the Fire Blast off onto the Gyrocopter. He's in trouble. Ball Lightning is going to be there. And with one last Static Remnant, Pepita becomes unstoppable. 6-0-0 on the Storm Spirit. No assist for this man. And Infamous starting to ball again as a Blink Dagger. 11 minutes, almost sub 12 minutes here, comes out for the Brew. Stolen impale from Schofield. He'll be in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have the mana yet for Finger, and he's going to deny himself to neutrals. Nicely played. My goodness, what a player Schofield has been this series.
Good for my tower.
Almost forgot. You saw him like walk and body the creeps first, and then be like, oh shit, they're sleeping. It's nighttime. It's Dota 1 all over again. And had to wake them up there, but extremely valuable to his team, Schofield has been. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Storm Spirit going in. Tavo forced to use the Primal Roar here, and unfortunately, Excel uses the stun early, which allows Tavo to back out here. However, meanwhile, with his Shadow Blade, Kataro finding a kill on the Tinker. All-important kill. Bottom lane, the Ogre does go down to the Necro Books and the Zoo from Tavo. Pepita gonna make it out here. Nothing to stun him. Nicely played overall. Getting the Tinker, losing the Ogre, still well worth it for the Radiant side. Tinker is 6th on net worth. That is a concern. And again, this Masha Tinker has just been behind. It's not as if his lane went that poorly this game. He did have his Ogre there. Coming forward for HFN. Call down is down. They'll get the Ignite off, though. Pepita should be able to kill him off. He gets the stick up, though, and actually the Storm Spirit in trouble now. They'll get him with the double impale from Duster, stolen from the Lion, and now they need a couple more right clicks to kill off the Storm Spirit. They're unable to do it. Stinger doesn't have the mana for the clap, and they will, with a right click from Schofield, find the kill. Now they're going to split up. Finger of Death going to come out. They need to find Duster with the Windwalk. Not going to be there just yet. Duster in the trees. Has no TP. Schofield looking to find him, and does. Schofield, what else is new? MVP for his squad. Finds himself a return kill. 2 kills for 2. Unfortunate that they lose the Storm Spirit. It's a 6 kill streak going the way of the Rubik. But the Rubik does end up dying when all is said and done. If you look at the fight recap, well, it only caught the last kill. So thanks for that, Valve. Alright. The man of the hour here, Kataro, if I could keep my camera on him, is going to make a move up to top lane. And Masha's dead. He's just dead. Yep, beautifully played. Nice patience. Make sure he doesn't get blinded by shadow dancing. And Tinker died. 8k net worth on the Slark, guys. Meanwhile, bottom lane, though. A lot of shit used. And they're right underneath the tower here with Necro level 2, I believe. Yep. So, certainly putting up a fight here are the paiN Gaming side. Slark has never really been involved in a large-scale engagement yet. Glyph is available for the Radiant. They're choosing not to expend it. They'll look in towards mid lane. as perhaps we see the dire side cut the wave here, but they'll get at least the tier 1, it seems. Primal Roar is not available, used bottom lane. And the 2 most valuable cores of Infamous will get it done mid. Again, Tinker showing top lane and Slark beelining that way. Schofield gets the Hex off. They need TPs in quickly. He gets the Impale as well. Is a little bit low on mana. Pounce is not going to land, actually, and he will be forced to Shadow Dance. Does get the kill on the Tinker. They get the Silence off onto the Brewmaster, who does not have a split. Has a couple of wand charges, but he should die here. And Old Stinger just not as elusive as the Slark. And with Pepita not nearby, they do end up feeding the Brewmaster. They kill the Tinker once again, though. And 15 minutes into the game, just a set of Travels and a Soul Ring. Kataro has his Echo Saber on top of the Shadow Blade, and he's looking for a Silver Edge again. Maybe hoping that the TP comes out from the Tinker in 1 second as he pings the Shrine. And TP is in towards the bottom lane for Masha. Duster was looking for some aggression as this ward did catch a glimpse of Excel, but they were unable to find it. Arcane Rune for Schofield, maybe be nice. He has 1,500 gold on the way to his Blink. Could be a nicely timed 20 or so minute Blink Dagger for the 4-position Lion. Meanwhile, bottom lane Excel does get caught, and somehow I missed it. Tinker playing rather safe in this mid lane, as no one really defending here bottom. There's a lot of vision around for the Slark, and 14 seconds until Shadow Blade's available. They'll put a little bit of chip damage, jump forward, clap, split, and the Finger of Death is going to be there onto the Gyrocopter. He's in a lot of trouble. They need to put some more damage into him. Dartback going to purge off the silence on the Slark. He gets under the Shadow, then starts right-clicking into Duster. They can't finish off HFN. Pepita finally does so. They get the Shadow Blade off on the Slark. Can they find anything on the backlines? There's Necro units here, so he does have to keep pressing forward. Now jump forward, clap will catch one. Tavo in trouble, big zip coming through from Pepita. They finish off the 3rd kill, and they'll only lose maybe the MVP of this game, Schofield, on the Lion. Infamous continuing to press, and good old team bonding moment here from Infamous underneath the Shrine. 1,700 gold on the Slark. He's level 15, highest in the game by a couple if you consider it relative to his enemies. Tinker finally gets some space, I suppose. But still, I mean, Masha working on a Ghost Scepter. Now being stalked again by Schofield, top lane, in trouble. Gets the cancel on the TB with the Impale. Hex is there as well. Clap gonna come through. Big zip from Pepita. And Masha has just not looked comfortable on this Tinker, excuse me. Kotaro has a Shadow Dance available and is gonna be forced to back here. Has a Pounce in just a second with a Dart Pack. One more right click, kills off Duster with ease. Gets away from the magic damage of HFN. Pepita cleans him up. The homing missile will connect onto Slark. Hawk is there as well, but they can't get in range for the Primal Roar. He'll take out the Hawk, jump forward, the pull is there, and they get the Shadow Dance off. There's a sentry though. Tavo gets the Primal Roar. Their big kill. 7 times kill streak gonna go the way of that Beastmaster. Now in trouble though is the Night Stalker. Pepita is there. A couple more right clicks. They should kill him off. He gets the stick charges off, and big overload right click will finish him. So still, they lose a big hero in the Slark. They get 2. Did Duster die there as well? I think they might have gotten 3. I'm unsure. Yes. So Duster did end up dying at the beginning of that. So Slark still, you know, heavily in the lead, but, you know, a costly death to feed there regardless. Tavo does have the Necro 3s, but no initiation tool just yet. Masha finally picks up his Ghost Scepter, so he'll be a little harder to kill, barring something like a Nullifier. Okay, Slark gonna run into Duster here. Knows he's not scouted just yet. Gonna continue to press back as they take down the Rubik. He'll look out on the back lines, and the Rubik will get blown to bits. And amidst his own call-down missiles, the gyrocopter will also fall. Nicely executed gank there by the infamous squad. 22 Bloodstone charges for the Storm Spirit. No Kaya for this man. paiN, not impressed. Working on an Orchid right now. As bottom lane shoves in a bit. The dire side does have vision. It's going to expire relatively soon here. 2 minutes until that vision is gone on the high ground. paiN was scouted in bottom lane, so they can go on this Slark if they find him. But he has been a tough hero for them to pin down thus far, as Slarks tend to be. Schofield has a finger ready. Jump forward. Hex pounces there. Impale is there as well. It even catches the Tinker on the back lines. That's just how good Schofield has been. Primal Roar is there, however, onto the Slark, and he's actually going to drop. And this is exactly what I was talking about with this deep vision. They see that Storm Spirit TP. They know he's bottom, and they find a big return kill on the Slark. Likely means this tower is going to go down as well. A reveal of Schofield's Blink does net a kill on HFN, but not worth losing the Slark for it. Just 600 gold away from the Orchid is paiN, however. He gets all the more dangerous with that pickup. Glyph going to be expended here at the top lane. 40 seconds until the Slark is back up, so...
How many times are you gonna be?
Well, unable to kill off the Necro Warrior there. Or Necro Archer, maybe I should say.
Selfish.
Working on a gem, it seems, is the Ogre Magi for his squad. Definitely would be nice for paiN on the Storm Spirit to carry. Haven't seen much impact from the Brewmaster after the first 12 or so minutes of the game. He has managed to pick up an H-Dom in the meantime. And looks like he's working on a Vlad's. So kind of the stat-heavy, very effective build. Cost-effective build for the Brewmaster. Working on a Scotty is the Kotaro, excuse me, Slark. As bottom lane Excel does TP out on the Ogre. Both teams just kind of sitting back at this point. paiN, 22 Bloodstone charges, and the Orchid completed up. We'll look to see them get active with this, I'm sure. It is, however, darkness now for the Night Stalker. HFN picks up a DD bottom. And into the Roche pit we'll see Infamous go. Great Aegis carrier in the storm. Roche just not missing yet with the Drunken Haze, and he finally will. Tinker's going to TP into the Hawk here. And we'll get off a couple of right clicks. They need to get into this pit quicker, though. They won't. Aegis is going to be there. Picked up by Kotaro. Now the Primal Roar comes out onto Schofield, but a big zip in from the Storm is there. Rocket Barrage doing a lot of work onto the Brewmaster. He may actually just die here, and he does. And now Kotaro thinking about staying in this engagement. Does have his Aegis pop. paiN, he's out of mana here. Schofield has a blink, but no impale. As the Slark, forced to pounce out, gets rooted up. Jump forward from Schofield will find a big impale, but nothing more than that. And now a buyback from the Brewmaster. Schofield's going to drop here as well. Old Stinger out in no man's land. He may be picked up. paiN zipping back in for the backline. Going to find the Rubik. No, he doesn't just yet. Gets silenced up. And he's lifted as well. This Storm Spear could end up going down. paiN up to the high ground, though. He's going to be just fine. Primal Split has been deployed. Do they want to press forward for more? He's regenning at the moment. Boulder Toss is going to be there. Zip forward. Oh, the Tinker, though, coming through, trying to kill him off. Unable to do so. Jump forward. The Blink not going to connect. No vision for the Storm Spirit. And Bloodstone is going to be there. They Orchid him up. Can they continue to chase forward? He's going to pop up the Ghost Scepter. paiN needs to keep his mana to be able to zip. Fire Blast is going to be there. He'll zip forward with the Ball Lightning. One right click. They get the Tinker. And over pursuit comes to mind as a word to describe paiN Gaming there. They had a great engagement in the river. The Brewmaster buys back. They could have just extracted themselves, got out, but they chose not to. And even without the Slark, paiN and Crow and Co. get it done. Gem in their hands as well. Looked so ideal for paiN Gaming, but on the back end, they get a little greedy. And a 7k lead now again for the Radiant. In the way of experience a little bit more. 12, 1, and 7 on the Storm Spirit. He's level 20 and is starting to become the main issue. Whereas the Slark was that all game long. Looking to queue up a Linken's totally understandable against the paiN Gaming lineup, and just a great Storm item in general. Schofield looking to work on a Force Staff beyond his Blink. Is under the cover of invisibility, but Darkness is still active. He will find the Hex before the Rubik finds the lift, and now jumping in is the Slark. They kill off the Rubik first. They are going to be in trouble on the Lion, and they are going to be forced to Shadow Dance on the Slark. Do they have anyone inbound here? He's got a Dark Pact and the Pounce. Jump forward. Split is going to be there. They throw out the Boulder Toss onto one of the Archers and will Cyclone up the Night Stalker. paiN in the pit, looking to engage here. He will jump forward, get the Orchid off onto the Night Stalker. The Windwalk forward, going to try and find some more for the Brewmaster, and won't be able to do so, it seems. But they get a Night Stalker Rubik for a Lion. Zip forward, looking for HFN as well. Can they pull him in, though? Doesn't seem like it just yet. Out of the call down almost entirely is paiN, zipping over to the right. Beautifully played by the Storm Spirit. 28 Bloodstone charges on him, and he's going to press for more. Looking to go on to Tavo here, and he will back out. Ball Lightning? No, Static Remnant stolen by the Rubik, so no major concern there. And paiN continuing to ball out of control in this one. Schofield, after a very, very effective early game, has been the target in a lot of the initiations here from paiN. Saw the Primal Roar expended on him top lane. Scotty is completed by Kotaro, finally. He's been working on that for a while. He also has his level 20 talent, so plus 3 seconds on the leash. And as they get the tower bottom lane and have Vision, Sentry, and Ward here for Radiant, maybe they can press forward. Duster's going to drop down some Cliff Vision for his squad. They do have a smoke on Schofield. And Primal Split, 10 seconds until that's up. So likely to see a Shrine and Smoke play. Well, they don't even Shrine here. paiN, all by his lonesome bottom. And they want to make their way towards their Vision, it seems. Darkness is going to be popped up. Meanwhile, paiN finds one on the east. That's going to be the Tinker. He gets a little scared, going to zip towards his team. They get the lift up onto the Brewmaster. He's not able to split just yet as Crippling Fear comes out. They actually steal the split on the Rubik. Working on King RD, though, is the Slark, and he should get the Night Stalker. He gets him down. Impale on the east side onto the Beastmaster as they'll chase him down. Tavo going to drop as well. Slark, though, in trouble. The Rubik using his split to good effect. He has a gem on him, has a Pounce away. Shadowblade is there as well. Now paiN on the north side trying to work, and all is said and done, it's just the Beastmaster Night Stalker kills. Schofield may be in trouble. They get HFN, and look at these two heroes with slivers of HP. Now jumping forward to find the Rubik. They'll get it for Kotaro. Missiles come through from the Tinker, but it won't be enough to finish anyone. And when all is said and done, it ends up being a 4-for-1 for Infamous's side. Tinker immediately to the top lane to begin pushing away, but it is a 5k net experience swing and almost a 2k net gold swing, and most of that gold funneled into the important carries for the Radiant. Feels like there should be an item for Slark here. So there's a BKB for the Storm. We mentioned that early on as a possible route of his. And he'll go for the Linken's after. So with BKB Linken's, 0 ways to lock him down. Primal Roar through BKB, of course, is the only way. And with those two tools, he is, you know, unless the Linken's gets popped before he pops BKB, he can play these team fights with complete impunity. Bloodlust And the invisibility for Schofield. He's going to run into HFN. This is a big hero for them to find if they can get it. And he will go down to the south. Gets hexed up instantly. Won't get the BKB off. Impale is there. They find HFN. Jump forward. Orchid onto the Rubik as well. Duster in trouble. One more right click to Soulburn. Not enough. One more will finish him. paiN finding the kill there. Hastrun picked up by Tavo. Doesn't seem that it's going to matter all that much as a tier 2 being pressured in mid lane. And no great split pushers. I mean, there's a Tinker to push waves. And Beastmaster is decent with the Necro Books, sure. But he's not going to be quick enough to deter Infamous from pressing forward in the mid lane. Smart play by Infamous as well. They keep the wave back so the March doesn't kill it off. Get backdoor protection removed and start to get to work on this tower. Buyback comes out from the Rubik, still 14 seconds or 10 seconds now with no gyrocopter. And that 10 seconds should be more than enough to kill off the tier 3. They'll back out at least for now to get the regen back up on the Slark. And the bottom lane is pushing in. So Infamous do need to be careful with the Beastmaster pushing their base. And he's doing some decent damage here. As Infamous looking to work on the racks, they'll get the ranged or get it very low. And can't continue. Jump call down is there. paiN though, he's going to jump forward with the Hex there. Gets the Orchid off onto the Gyrocopter. HFN still doesn't get BKB off. He's going to be brought down. Beastmaster working on the racks bottom lane. They get the racks mid and will take a team fight win as well. Will they continue to press forward? The Beastmaster gets the full racks, guys. There is tier 2s in both lanes though, so he can't get anything else done. As Excel TP's back. He can get solo killed here. Primal Roar is going to be there from Tavo. He misses the stomp, however. Tavo now trying to TP out, and he'll be successful. So it's a 1-for-1 racks trade when all is said and done. And there are tier 2s in both lanes that aren't racks for both teams. Tinker's going to be found out. Hexes up the Storm Spirit. Tries to get away. Will try for the rearm. Not going to be there in time. The Slark joins the fray. 66 seconds on the sideline for the Tinker. And you see the immediate drawing from Schofield, wanting his team to push in this bottom lane. But it is going to be a while before they can do that. Meanwhile, top lane, paiN jumping in, is going to find the Rubik. 50 seconds. He's on the sideline. paiN, 38 Bloodstone charges. He has Overload Pieces of Moon. He has a level 25 talent here, 32 minutes in the game. He is the highest level in the game by a wide margin. And has a BKB in just a second. Will end up popping in to get rid of the silence. That'll keep him safe for now. Slark is bottom lane in the meantime, pushing that in. paiN, he's standing in a fountain right now. 86 mana regen. So, really, no real reason for him to ever want to base. They will shrine up here, and he's got 3,900 gold as well. Slark with the gem, working on pushing in bottom by his lonesome, should be joined up by his comrades relatively shortly, as the entirety of the paiN Gaming lineup does now respawn. So they did a good job with the Beastmaster and the Tinker keeping the waves out, and that is the only reason that their Raxes haven't been taken aside from mid. The Taro bot lane just going to wait for his support to be inbound before he continues to right-click into this tower. Call down will fly out, trying to clean up the wave. Kataro really not all that concerned by that. We'll get the Dark Pact off. One last right-click takes out that tier 2, and perhaps they just wait out Roche. Helm of the Dominator for the Beastmaster, for the Brewmaster, excuse me, creep in the pit. We'll just watch this good old Storm Spirit. Why doesn't the camera stay on him, guys? Sorry, just had to make a quick text. BKB Vlad's up on old Stinger. He's done an admirable job keeping up in farm. I mean, he's ahead of the Beastmaster and the Gyro at this point. Roche is up, and with the Helm of the Dominator creep walking up, Dire should be well aware this is happening. Indeed they are. They're coming from the south to try and wrap. Blink forward from the Brew. He's going to go to try and find the Tinker. They're going to get on him instantly and blow him up. And that's going to mean everyone from paiN has to be. Slark even looking for more there. Doesn't find it. Perhaps just a slight miscommunication.
Flesh sustains, gold remains.
Forty bloodlust attack speed seems nice. Yeah, again, Beastmaster though doing a good job pushing in the bottom lane with his Necros and his Vlads. He's got all the tools necessary. paiN does not have a way back into top lane with his 39 Bloodstone charges, so unfortunately Slark can't really make a go without him. 24,000 of your net worth is not present. It's probably not a good idea to fight. So Tinker TPing in bottom lane. Oh, I pinged it like a paiN nearby, looking for the Tinker, finds him. He blinks over to the east, still going. Can he get the pull? He does. That's gonna be a Tinker down for 70 seconds. And the Soul Burn will finish him off. Meanwhile, Schofield and the Night Stalker are going to go in on the line. They'll find a gem. But the Slark goes in mid lane. HFN could be in trouble too. paiN just going to zip past the enemy. And HFN forced to BKB. He's just going to walk down towards the enemy base. Has a Bloodthorn available as well now. And Slark jumping forward. Finds HFN. Finishes him off. And HFN going to rage quit out of this one. Infamous. Off the back of paiN's Storm Spirit and Kotaro's Slark take a very convincing series win here, proving why they were worth the direct invite into this qualifier over the paiN Gaming squad. And what else can you say? I mean, their core is just shown all day. 23-1 on paiN's Storm Spirit. You take a look at Masha's Tinker, and it is absolute mirror. Night and day between these two. 851 XPM, 23 kills, a shit ton of charges on the Bloodstone. I didn't actually get to see what it was at the end of the game. That's just unfortunate. But hey, go back and watch the replay, guys. I hope you enjoyed the cast thus far. I am MRP, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. You can follow me over on Twitter at MRPDota if you enjoyed the cast. We're not done for the day just yet, folks, but the next series is scheduled for 1 hour from now, since Infamous were so kind as to 2-0 paiN Gaming for us. So still about an hour away from that next series. It's going to be SG Esports versus Sacred. SG, again, the direct invite there is going to be certainly considered the favorite, but Sacred, you know, X kind of Elite Wolves, the Peruvian stack, or not today, I should say. Sorry, not Elite Wolves. The Peruvian stack certainly are no slouches and definitely can put up a fight. So 7 EST, guys, 1 hour from now. You can check that game out here on twitch.tv/BeyondTheSummit2. And for all updates and Dota being played, be sure to follow the channel and follow Beyond the Summit on Twitter. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until then, we'll be back in an hour. MRP signing up.